Hey basketball guys, we have news. Let's go to more Los Angeles Lakers news, but first don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave your like. Luka Doncic was the Lakers' biggest signing in recent years and fans are apprehensive about whether Doncic will accept a contract extension or choose to become a free agent in 2026. After the Lakers were sold to another owner, it seems that the player has decided to put an end to the rumors. Luka Doncic officially declares his decision. He wants to stay with the Lakers for many years and wants to win 2 championships. This decision stops the rumors and leaves the rivals in the West perplexed, because Luka Doncic is taking care of his physical condition and will come to the season renewed and ready to be a champion. Doncic will stay with the Lakers. Go Lakers! Luka Doncic just ended Mavericks' return pipe dream with bold Lakers declaration. Ever since the dreadful day that the Dallas Mavericks traded Luka Doncic to the Los Angeles Lakers for Anthony Davis, Mavs fans have dreamed about getting him back to Dallas. Mavs fans' hopes of Doncic returning one day intensified during his emotional return to Dallas, as he clearly still loves the city and the fans, but this pipe dream may have to wait a while. Doncic recently made it clear that he wants to remain in Los Angeles for years to come by showing them the same loyalty that he showed the Mavericks before they traded him away on February 1. Even after Jeanie Buss sold the team, Doncic made it clear he has no plans of leaving the Lakers next summer as he has a player option. "The Lakers are an amazing organization," Doncic wrote. "I'm looking forward to meeting Mark and excited about the future. I am also grateful to Jeanie and the Buss family for welcoming me to LA, and I'm happy that Jeanie will continue to be involved. I look forward to working with both of them to win championships." Mavericks fans crushed as Doncic clearly signals Lakers' commitment. As always, Doncic made it clear that he wants to win a title, and all signs are pointing to him wanting to do that in Los Angeles. Doncic felt a sense of loyalty toward the Lakers in the middle of last season, even though he hadn't been there that long, and a new contract with Los Angeles would keep him there for years to come. Usually, a player who is due a contract extension with a team wouldn't post a message like this, as they would be jockeying as hard as they can for leverage, but not Doncic. He is showing the Lakers and their fans that he is all in, and that was one irreplaceable quality about him that Mavs fans will never forget. Mavs fans understand that a new era will soon begin with Cooper Flagg at the center of it. And while Flagg's arrival next week will help heal the wounds that were left by the Doncic trade, fans will always want Doncic to return to Dallas. Many things would likely have to happen before Doncic even considered returning to the Mavs, likely including them firing Nico Harrison since he is the one who orchestrated the trade, and a move like this would thrill Mavs fans even if it was extremely far down the line. Doncic gave his heart to Dallas in the 6.5 seasons he played with the Mavs, and he wanted to win a title for this city and fan base badly. It was never about the individual awards for Doncic. It was always about trying as hard as he could to bring the Mavericks a title, and now it seems like he is bringing that same loyal championship mindset to the Lakers. Doncic wants to win a title in Los Angeles, and regardless of Buss selling the team, he wants to remain with the Lakers and finish what he started this year. He seems to want to keep his Lakers legacy going for the time being, and Mavs fans who want him back are likely going to have to wait a very long time for that to even be a possibility. Doncic was heartbroken by the way he was traded by Harrison and the Mavericks, but maybe that piece of his heart that came out during the Mavericks tribute video for him in April and caused him to cry will bring him back before he ends his NBA career. Luka Doncic likely to take $64 million pay cut on Lakers extension this summer. With all due respect to the attractive and lucrative markets of New York and Miami, Los Angeles is pretty much the place to be when it comes to NBA superstars. Several of them reside in Southern California's most populous metropolis during the off-season, even if they play elsewhere across the league. Lakers star Luka Doncic was an exception to the rule ahead of last February's trade deadline, as he both played and resided in Dallas and was content to remain there. But the Mavericks sent him packing to LA and the league's premier franchise, which just sold to one of the richest ownership groups in all of sports at a valuation of $10 billion. That is massively good news for Doncic, as well as Lakers fans everywhere, given the level of resources about to be mainlined into the franchise. Despite that, however, Doncic is highly likely to take less money over fewer years on an extension in Los Angeles this summer, assuming he signs one, with an eye toward the future, specifically the summer of 2028. On August 2, Doncic can add 4 years and $229 million to his deal, Brian Windhorst of ESPN reported on Saturday, June 21. But he could, and it might financially be smarter to, also sign for $165 million over 3 years with a chance to opt out in 2028. That doesn't mean Doncic is more likely to leave LA in 3 years. In fact, it would indicate an even stronger likelihood that he opts out at that time and inks an even longer-term deal to remain in purple and gold potentially through the end of what has already been a Hall of Fame career just 7 years in. Should Doncic take the 3-year contract rather than the 4-year agreement, which is worth $64 million less overall, he can put himself in a position to renegotiate a supermax deal at 35% of the salary cap rather than 30% he can sign for now after hitting the 10-year NBA service mark. Furthermore, the league's salary cap is almost certainly going to be considerably higher 3 years from now than it is today, as the NBA's new television deal increases the cap incrementally season over season. That deal, if and when Doncic signs it, will probably be the richest contract ever in league history, and the new ownership group will be able to pay it with ease. Lakers need a center who can address offensive rebounding woes. Los Angeles finished the 2024-25 regular season ranked number 23 in offensive rebounding percentage and 27 in offensive rebounds. It was also 27th in contested offensive rebounds, which epitomizes its primary flaw in the rebounding department. The Lakers have a cast of players who can corner crash and outpace opponents to long rebounds, but they lack a box-out style of big who can generate second chances in traffic. It's worth noting that Los Angeles ranked number 9 in defensive box-outs in 2024-25, which speaks to a fundamental discipline worth praising. Unfortunately, it was number 23 in offensive box-outs, revealing the exact hurdle standing in their way. Los Angeles is admittedly a strong offensive team, ranking number 7 in true shooting percentage, number 8 in EFG percent, and number 11 in offensive rating in 2024-25, but it must figure out how to extend possessions. Perhaps the answer lies with approaching free agents who specialize in offensive rebounding. Clint Capella is an example of an available player who excels in that area, with a ranking of number 10 amongst those who appeared in at least 50 games in offensive rebounding percentage. Day'Ron Sharpe is another free agent who ranked in the top 10 in that statistic, while productive rebounders such as Walker Kessler and Nick Richards could be accessible via trade. Regardless of how it happens, the Lakers need to find players who can win the battle on the boards. Defense and value in the pick and roll may take precedence, but the perfect result for Los Angeles would be an opportunity to give its potentially elite offense a new source of reliability. The path to improvement remains unclear, but the Lakers know exactly what they need to find in their new centers. Mavericks named top trade destination for Lakers star. If Austin Reaves is traded this offseason, the Mavericks seem like a possible landing spot. The Dallas Mavericks and Los Angeles Lakers have gotten together for one controversial trade already this year when Luka Doncic was sent to LA for Anthony Davis, Max Christie, and a future draft pick. What's one more? Dallas is in desperate need of some playmaking after trading away Doncic, and with Kyrie Irving tearing his ACL, so Zach Buckley of Bleacher Report thinks the Mavs would be an ideal landing spot for Lakers guard Austin Reaves. Buckley proposes the trade of sending Reaves and Shake Milton to Dallas for Derek Lively II and PJ Washington. The Mavericks need a ball handler to hold things over while Kyrie Irving recovers from his ACL tear and a support scorer to slot alongside a healthy Irving and Anthony Davis. Few players who are realistically connected to the trade market would better check both boxes than Reaves. Even as a third option in LA, he's already established himself as an efficient 20-point scorer while also putting a healthy amount of separation between his averages in assists, 5.8, and turnovers, 2.4. It's certainly possible his playmaking could elevate if utilized in a more featured role, even if only temporarily, and he'd have the added bonus of having established chemistry with Davis, due to their time together in LA. The Lakers would need to decide whether Lively qualifies as the impact big thereafter, but save for some injury issues, his first 2 seasons have been true head-turners. And since he spent a season plus with Doncic in Dallas, Lively might hit the ground running in LA. Washington, meanwhile, has the same connection with Doncic and could bring both defensive versatility and shot-making to the perimeter group. Both fanbases might gripe about losing the players involved. Milton, for the record, would merely make the money work, but that usually just means a trade holds win-win potential. Sending Lively and Washington is likely too high a price to pay for the Mavericks, as they view Lively as someone with all-star potential if he can stay healthy, and he's still under his rookie deal. Reeves is due for an extension after this season and will demand a high price on his next contract, something the Mavs likely couldn't afford to do. Lakers' rumored top center target may now be easier to acquire. The Lakers should keep their eyes on this Western Conference team during the NBA draft. With the 2025 NBA draft and free agency on the horizon, the Los Angeles Lakers will look to address various needs on the roster to build around the trio of LeBron James, Luka Doncic, and Austin Reeves heading into next season. One of the more pressing needs for the Lakers this offseason is to find an adequate center who can protect the rim on defense, while also being a competent offensive threat. This season, the Lakers struggled to find a solution in the middle after trading star Anthony Davis to the Dallas Mavericks. Los Angeles could have some options in free agency, such as Clint Capella, who would be the perfect fit for what the Lakers need on both ends. However, the trade market could also be of use to the Lakers. If they go the trade route, one young center who plays in the Western Conference could be a potential option, especially if his current team takes his replacement in the draft. According to Tony Jones of The Athletic, the Utah Jazz worked out Duke freshman Kaman Malach on Wednesday. Jones adds that Maluak is in the convo for the 5th overall pick, who is one of the best big men in this year's class. If the Jazz take Malach, who had a solid freshman year at Duke, at number 5, the Lakers should call Utah about Walker Kessler's availability. The 23-year-old center is under contract for this upcoming season before hitting restricted free agency in 2026-27. Last season, the former first-round pick averaged 11.1 points and 12.2 rebounds in 30 minutes per game in 58 starts, all career highs. Kessler also had a 130 ORTG, offensive rating, and 115 DRTG, defensive rating. It won't be easy for the Lakers to obtain Kessler, who has been a serviceable young center in Utah. However, if Los Angeles doesn't like the free agent options, they might have to consider using Dalton Knecht in a potential deal, which could entice a rebuilding squad like the Jazz. That being said, it will be interesting to see how everything plays out between the draft and the start of free agency. The Lakers must find a big man if they want to compete in the West and make it out of the first round. Lakers have reportedly made offer to Walker Kessler. The Los Angeles Lakers are on the hunt for a center this offseason, and Utah Jazz center Walker Kessler is at the top of the list. The Utah Jazz reportedly received an offer from the Lakers' president of basketball operations, Rob Pelinka, for Kessler. Andy Larson of the Salt Lake Tribune reports that the Jazz already have the offer in hand, but it isn't enough to get the deal done yet. I think there's been an offer presented for Walker Kessler. And, certainly the Lakers have shown significant interest all the way back to the deadline, certainly continuing now, Larson said during an appearance on the Locked On Jazz podcast. And him being their future of the center, giving up multiple picks to get there, that is on the table right now. I don't know if the Jazz take it. Certainly, they haven't so far. On the trade market, there are a couple of young centers available for a deal. Charlotte Hornets center Mark Williams could be on the move again. Brooklyn Nets center Nick Claxton is another name linked to the Lakers. There are a couple of veterans in free agency, though Pelinka seems keen on getting a young center for the long term. The move is pivotal for the Lakers since Luka Doncic loves to play alongside a rim-running center. The team traded away their only starting caliber player in getting Doncic, which means the team now needs to dump draft picks and wing players to get a meaningful upgrade. The Lakers hold one of their future first-round picks, a couple of pick swaps, and several contracts in the $10 to $20 million range, a necessity for any deal in the latest collective bargaining agreement. Jazz executive Danny Ainge is the top decision-maker for the franchise, though he is notorious for being unwilling to deal with the Lakers, making a Kessler deal unlikely unless the Jazz need to shed salary for a free agent or another deal. Lakers predicted to land Hawks center in free agency. The Los Angeles Lakers may have some options as far as how to plug their massive hole at the center position. They have been linked to a few different centers via the trade market, but there is always a chance they could land a serviceable big man in free agency. They're expected to have only the taxpayer mid-level exception of roughly $5.7 million to offer to any free agent of consequence. But some believe that a player such as Brook Lopez of the Milwaukee Bucks or the Atlanta Hawks' Clint Capella could agree to come to the Lakers for that amount of money. In a recent piece where he predicted where a number of free agents will land this summer, Eric Pincus of Bleacher Report predicted that Capella will sign with the Purple and Gold. Via Bleacher Report. Capella, 31, has probably aged out of his stay in Atlanta. Onyeka Okongwu and others will fill that spot, leaving the veteran rebounder and shot blocker to find a new home. He should expect a decrease in pay, but he may be one of the top available bigs on the market. He's not much of a scorer, and his efficiency at the rim has dropped from 65.3% from the field in 2022 to 55.9%. Still, he might provide a team with double-double production as a 24-minute starter, sharing minutes on a playoff-capable team. Capella may not be quite the same player he was several years ago when he was on the Houston Rockets. But he still seems to be a viable rebounder and shot blocker, and he could still be enough of a lob threat to whet Luka Doncic's appetite. He averaged 8.9 points, 8.5 rebounds, and 1.0 blocks in 21.4 minutes a game this season for the Hawks. At 6 feet 10 and 256 pounds, he could have enough size and game to at least be an adequate stopgap solution for Los Angeles.